All right, it is Do You Know, and we are in studio to talk United Way with Renee. Renee, it's an exciting time of the year for United Way. You're at 82% of your goal, and still things that are happening in our community.
You bet. We're at $820,000 of our campaign goal going into April, and you'll see some end-of-the-year pushes because that $1 million is so close that I think we can reach it.
Very good. One of the things that we wanted to talk about, and we'll talk about the end-of-the-year campaign work that's going on, but we want to talk a little bit about the work that's going on in early education, because that's kind of a pride and joy of the United Way.
You know, we really believe in collaboration and working together to get work done. And in early ed, that is one of my proudest accomplishments of our United Way this year. About a year and a half ago, we had a major donor come to the United Way and wanted to do something bigger and better with his gift in education, and how could he impact a legacy just in Willmar. From that, community leaders were brought to the table in education, which included Head Start, community ed, the public health system, independent daycare providers. A wide variety came to the table and identified where the gaps were. And at that time, it was identified that 150 children going into kindergarten program 2 school years ago did not have a preschool experience. So they started to think outside the box, and from that some great collaborations have happened, and we've expanded services throughout the region, including United Way programming, and also the daycare providers, some of the daycare providers and United Way, Head Start, the Y, and Willmar Public Schools early childhood programs, are now using the same curriculum. So the same assessment, same background before they get into school.
And that works out great because you have that collaboration. Everybody is on the same page, yes. and it really works out well. Speaking of some of the programs and things, the Growmobile is a part of the new summer things that are going on with relationship to the location and some of the hours that the Growmobile is going to be doing along with the summer stuff. Tell us about that.
I will do. Well, the Growmobile right now during the school year is going to 15 family daycare providers and providing a preschool lesson with a tote with curriculum and activities for the daycare provider to continue that. And these daycare providers had to apply to United Way last fall, and they have a large population of children that attend that do not have a preschool experience, or families can't afford preschool. On top of that, Michelle White, who's on fire, she's our Success by Six coordinator who runs the program. She's also going to 2 alternative sites, and these are sites that came out of the collaboration with the Willmar Early Childhood Cabinet, plus the curriculum that we're doing. They are located in apartment buildings, reaching out to the people of diverse cultures, and we have liaisons from the public school system helping with the language barriers. And Michelle is really breaking down walls and building friendships and connections and getting to those kiddos that may already be missed.
That was very good. It's such a great program to have. Give us a little update on when we're going to see the new Growmobile.
We're pretty excited about that. You'll start seeing it in April. It'll be arriving in the first part of this month, and about the end of the month, it'll be all graphic by Pat's Graphics. And this summer, we are going to the 4 outlying communities and 5 spots in Willmar. So we're excited to have a little Growmobile bus traveling the city of Willmar.
That's going to be exciting. Maybe next month we will have to do our segment from the Growmobile.
That would be a lot of fun.
All right, we will. Tell us about the scholarships.
We have a lot of scholarships that we give. Well, actually, we give dollars to the school districts. Part of the work that United Way does is we fund agencies. And our local school districts, including Willmar, have applied for early ed scholarships, and we've been able to fund them through the community review process. Not only Willmar, but New London and ACGC, and also the Bold District. This present campaign year, we go through another agency funding cycle, and we have 27 entities in education applying to United Way for funding.
Very good. One of the things that we wanted to talk about too was the relationship with the library, is the Imagination Library. Give us some info and details on that too.
You know, as a parent, I remember when my kids were little, I was just so excited they, knew their name when they walked into kindergarten. But the reality is the standards are so much higher for our kiddos that they need to know letter recognition. They need to know phonics of some words before they walk in. United Way offers the Imagination Library. It's a book program where children get a book a month from birth till their 5th birthday. It's a literacy tool to help prepare them for kindergarten. And it also builds the love of reading, which is so important for kids. Because our goal, not just at United Way, but all of us who collaborate in early ed, is that getting our kids to be reading proficient by 3rd grade, because up until then they learn to read, and after that they are reading to learn, and they can be anything they want to be.
That's true, and it's such a great program. The quality of the books are really outstanding too. It's always nice to be able to see the results and the books and the stuff that comes with them. It's a great program to be involved with. We want to talk a little bit about the year-end campaign. If people haven't donated, how they can still donate, and give us some info on that too.
we'll have letters going out in March, or excuse me, in the beginning of April to all the donors that have given in the past, asking for a step-up gift if they'd consider that. Also, those who have been a past pillar of our organization but maybe missed us this year, and businesses we haven't heard from yet. But another fun piece that we're going to try is take 5 to give 5, and look for a media blitz on that, probably heading towards the end of April. And we hope that will bring in, help fill those gaps. And then we have a lot of special events coming up too that we hope to have some great participation in.
And those are coming up. You have 3 of them in May, and then you have the big golf in June. Tell us about that.
Yes, and actually the first event isn't a fundraiser. It's just a way to connect volunteers. We were approached by the Faith at Work, Wilmer Faith at Work, and it's a collaboration of churches trying to do something for their neighbor. And they're having a community day on May 3rd, and we're going to facilitate getting the projects and work with them to line up volunteers. So May 3rd is a really important day. And if you have on your heart and you belong to a church, or just have on your heart that you want to help a neighbor in Wilmer, get in touch with United Way, and we'll work with the Wilmer Family Faith at Work program to get that to happen. More events. So we got May 17th, which is the Power of the Person Wilmer, a whole new format this year. Really exciting. It's an evening event, and it's about women come on out and have a great time and celebrate being a woman and all the power that we have behind our dollar and our work. And all the dollars raised will go to our Growmobile program. Not only will we have a fantastic speaker that night, there'll be great food, there'll be beverages, and lots of great purses to bid on. So.
That's going to be good. And then the event that everybody loves each and every year is the United Way Golf Tournament. Tell us about that.
Now, this year it's June 2nd, and I guarantee you there will not be snow, and there will be green something on the ground, grass, or I'll make artificial turf. I don't know. But it's going to be a great event. June 2nd, we've had it last year, we filled out, and we hope to fill out again this year. But all proceeds help all the programs United Way helps. I mentioned those 27 programs in education. That is where your dollars are going to help us do the work that we do. And then lastly, just want to mention, if you're a runner, we have a race on May 17th in Litchfield. Look us up for that.
All right. And if you want more information, you can always call the United Way at 235-1050, or you can go online and check out the website at liveunitedwcm.org. All right, you're watching Do You Know?
Hi, Jody Wambeck with the Wilmer Early Childhood Family Programs and Early Childhood Initiative. Just have a few things to talk to you about this month. The first one is the Wilmer Community Ed and Rec brochure that will be coming out in your mailboxes this month, so be on the lookout for that. And if you don't receive it in your mailbox, they will be located at different locations around town, grocery stores, those type of places. But check that out. There's a lot of great things happening this summer for your entire family. Also, be sure to check out the library. Kathy has lots of great things that she is doing for young kids, so be sure to get on their website or on their Facebook page. She always posts those great things there, or look at the Candy Kids website too. I have all of the activities listed. Our April WOW event, and remember, WOW stands for World of Wonder, will be held at Jefferson Learning Center, and it is our early childhood fair. We are going to have lots of resource tables for parents as well as activities for children, so I hope you can come out and join us. And then, do you have a child who will be going to kindergarten this fall or is age eligible for kindergarten, and you're just kind of wondering if they are ready or not? There is a website called isyourchildready.com, and that will be listed across the bottom. You can go on there and take a quick survey, and that will give you some information about whether or not your child is socially ready and academically ready as well. So there's some great information on that website for you. Or if you want to go to the Candy Kids Ready website too, we have a lot of great kindergarten information on that as well. And then also screening, early childhood screening. Remember, if your child is going to kindergarten and has not had the screening done, be sure to call Community Ed and Rec to get an appointment set. You are watching Do You Know?
It is Do You Know, and joining us on the telephone is Jody Breiger from the Affiliated Community Medical Center's Health Learning Center. Today, Joe, we are talking about the top tests that can save your life.
Everybody is busy. Sometimes we are even so busy we ignore our own health. Sometimes the amount of tests that we think we may need to stay healthy may seem daunting. We are here to tell you that this may not be as many as you think, but in every decade there are top tests to save your life. Keep yourself healthy by adhering to these life-saving tests. When you're in your 20s, get a complete physical. When you're 21, you should get your first complete physical, including blood work that checks your cholesterol, sugar, thyroid function, liver and kidney function, and vitamin B12 and D levels every 1 to 5 years until you reach the age of 40. Getting these tests will ensure that you can detect any issues as early as possible. And 2, get a Pap test. It's the best way to detect the earliest signs of cervical cancer. It's best to start in this test in your 20s when you have the highest chance of exposure to the human papillomavirus. And the 3rd in your 20s is STD test. Of all the STD tests that are transmitted every year, nearly half affect 18 to 24-year-olds. Some STDs don't have any symptoms but can lead to complications such as infertility later in life. Be sure to get checked. And finally, get a skin exam. Melanoma is one of the leading causes of cancer deaths in women between ages 25 to 29. Be sure and check your skin for new or oddly shaped moles. If you think something isn't right, don't hesitate. Tell your physician as soon as possible. In your 30s, remember to continue to get that HPV test because our immune systems are less robust as we age, and get tested for HPV with your Pap test every 3 years. And the other thing to think about in your 30s is a blood sugar test. Go in for your first test at age 30 and get one every year until age 50. As we age, the risk of developing diabetes increases. And you reach your 40s, remember to add the cholesterol test to your physical annually in your 40s. If you smoke, have high blood pressure, diabetes, or a family history of heart disease, it is especially important to receive this test. And secondly, a mammogram. The National Cancer Institute recommends getting screened for breast cancer every 2 years beginning at age 40, especially if you are at high risk. And finally, when you're in your 50s, don't forget mammograms, depending on your risk. Getting a mammogram every year or 2 years becomes extremely important when you reach age 50. And don't forget colonoscopy. At age 50, you should have your first colonoscopy, and this test should be repeated every 10 years to check for colorectal cancer, the second leading killer of both men and women in the United States. People who are tested every 10 years have better outcomes if they're diagnosed with the disease. The third test in your 50s is a bone density test. Getting a bone density test in your 50s is a good idea if you're considering hormone replacement therapy or if you're at high risk for osteoporosis. And finally, think about a hearing test, because hearing loss affects 1 to 10 in 10 Americans. Protect yourself and be sure to get tested. So don't forget, every year you should get an annual gynecological exam with breast and blood pressure check. You should receive a Pap test every 3 years. You should get an eye exam every 5 to 10. You should check your skin yearly for abnormalities and get a yearly physical with cholesterol and blood sugar testing. We care about your health and we want you to stay as healthy as you can be.
Joe, very good information to keep in mind. If you have any health-related questions that affect you or your family, feel free to call ACMC's Health Learning Center at 231-5070. Thanks, Joe. We'll talk to you next month.
Yes, thank you very much, Rudy.
Now joining us on the other line is Kathy Torkelson from the Willmar Public Library. Kathy, a lot of things happening this month at the library. Give us all the details.
Thanks, Rudy. First, we'll start with Story Hour. Does your preschooler like to listen to stories and do crafts, shake musical instruments? Story Hour is a fun program to bring your child to on Wednesday and Friday mornings. The children are entertained with quality literature, flannel graph stories, puppetry, music, finger plays, and an occasional movie. These activities will stimulate your preschoolers' literacy skills. Make sure you and your child check out some books after the program. Are you looking for something to do with your infants or toddlers? On Thursdays, we partner with the Willmar Early Childhood Family Education to do Baby Lap Sit. This is a great opportunity for parents to interact with their infants or toddlers with music, finger plays, and stories. It helps them develop a lifetime love of books. Also, parents get to meet other parents. Call Community Education at 231-8490 to register. Another program we have is Bringing Stories to Life, which is held once a month on Tuesday evenings. So if you can't make it to a daytime program, this program would be a good fit. This monthly program starts at 6 p.m. Each night, we bring a new story to life with the help of your child. Be prepared to do lots of crafts and painting. We go all out with activities with this program. Again, just call Community Education to register. Do you like to go to the movies? The Willmar Public Library provides you with that opportunity. We project popular children's movies on our wall with our LCD projector. It's almost like being at the theater. Movies are shown once a month. This month we are showing the Disney movie Frozen. So everyone is invited to join us and watch the movie, eat popcorn, or if you wish, bring your own snack. We just added a new program at the Willmar Public Library, the Children's Book Club. While eating pizza, we discuss the book. Then later, we might do a scavenger hunt or play games. If you have a child in grades 2nd through 6th grade, they're welcome to join the book club, which meets the first Tuesday of the month. This month's book is Big Nate, I Can't Take It by Lincoln Pierce. This book is a graphic novel. The storyline is that Big Nate is struggling with everything from his annoying older sister, his clueless dad, to his nightmarish teacher, and his superior-minded exchange student classmate. I think the kids can totally relate to Big Nate. It is a very humorous book.
As always, lots of things going on at the library. If you'd like more information about these activities or any of the other programs at the Wilmer Public Library, feel free to call 235-3162, or you can check it out online at wilmerpubliclibrary.org. Thanks, Kathy. We'll talk to you next month.
Thank you, Rudy. Great. I'll look forward to it.
You are watching Do You Know?
Hello, Steve Brizendine, Wilmer Community Education and Recreation Director. Spring summer is an exciting time for us at Community Ed and Rec. We transition out of the cold Minnesota winter into the spring summer time that we get to enjoy the Minnesota outdoors. We've got enrichment, educational, and recreational programs for you and your family, all the way from our youngest children to the oldest adults. We've got everything for you at Community Education and Recreation. WilmerCER.com is where you can find us, and you've been watching Do You Know?
Good afternoon. This is Susan Matson with the Master Gardener segment of Do You Know? And this afternoon we are here in a very warm place at the New London Spicer High School. We have a greenhouse program here working with students called the YES program. And I will turn it over to Teresa Copley, who is one of the coordinators. There also is an instructor, Tracy Tebben, the ag instructor who helped build it, and another master gardener, Benita Kalstead, who will be joining us in a few minutes. So I'll turn it over to Teresa, who can give you a little bit of background on the program, and then we'll also interview some of the students who are working with the program here.
Hi, I'm Teresa. The Southwest Initiative Foundation and the Prairie Woods ELC have put together a Youth Energy Summit program called YES. Every year we have 12 8th graders who participate. So with us here today are 3 of the students from last year's YES group. They were the ones who thought about, it was their idea to initiate this NLS greenhouse. And they got $1,500 in grant money, to kind of a seed grant money to get the program started. And then Tracy Tebben, the ag teacher, took it from there, and he got quite a few grants to finish the project. And then this year's YES team was handed the project in about November when the greenhouse was up and running, and they did all the planting, and they've been doing regular harvesting for the purpose of feeding the kids on the lunch line. So students from NLS are getting fresh greens on a weekly basis. So far, 12 pounds worth of lettuce have been contributed to the lunch line.
All right. When I looked around the flats of plants here, I saw a lot more than just plain lettuce. I also noticed some spinach, and I saw some peas were growing over by the windows. So maybe if I turn this over to Emma, Courtney, and Morgan, you can tell a little bit about what kinds of things are planted here.
So we plant a lot of kind of small lettuces and spinach, and then we've obviously got the snap peas. And then behind us is the hydroponic growing table where romaine lettuce is growing in water, and it doesn't have any dirt. So it's just kind of, you can see all the roots.
And that's an egg project.
Yeah. And then there's just kind of different varieties of lettuce.
Do you want to add a little bit to that? Yeah, how the idea, because I know you were instrumental in starting it.
Okay, well, first off, we started our garden back in 2000 and when we started.
Talking about the garden out here?
Yeah.
That was started in the fall of. The first New London garden is the Hoop Garden, which is down by the water tower. It's a raised bed garden, and that was in the fall of 2009.
Okay, well, we started down there and found out that we have no water source, so it was a big problem. So we had to move. We started planting in the ag shop, but there was a very limited space, and so we decided building a bigger building. So we were thinking about a greenhouse. Well, then we had an awesome opportunity to go to Milan, and we got to learn about the greenhouses in Lacaparo. And we met a guy named Chuck Wabel who would help us with our greenhouse. So we decided to do that. We got a grant and we started building, and then Tracy Tebben helped us with building it, and it just got going from there.
Maybe you'd like to tell us what that award is that you are holding. And so someone in the group can tell us a little bit about that?
It is the second place award for the YES program that was awarded to the 2012-2013 YES team. That you get judged by the different products or different projects that you do throughout the year, and then a group of judges judge you on how well they worked and how well they helped the environment, and then you get placed, and we got second.
All right, well, that's quite an award. That's throughout the state of Minnesota? Southwest Minnesota. All right, so I'd like to thank the three girls for being here, and in a few minutes we'll talk a little bit to the students who are working with the program this year. All right, this is the YES team that's working with the program this year, and so they can tell a little bit about what is being planted, maybe a little bit more about the harvest of the plants. Someone want to take a shot at this? I don't know. Who would like to be the spokesperson for the group of YES students? And you are?
Colton Bendixson.
All right. Introduce yourself, put the microphone close.
I'm Colton Bendixson, and we're planting lettuce, obviously. And, well, we started it in gutters because they don't have a very deep roots. So we put it in the gutters and put them on tables so it's easy to water and stuff. And then we put the stuff with the tap roots over into the side. This is, I don't know how to explain it. This is deeper dirt. It's a raised bed for all the taproot type plants. And we have carrots in the back, then beets and peas. So that way the roots can, and radishes. And the radishes we put in the lunch line, and the lettuce we put in the lunch line. And on to you, Justine.
Thank you, Colton. Anyone else want to add a little bit to his message? All right. Well, I'm really impressed because when I walked around looking at some of the plants that were growing, I saw different varieties of lettuce. When they say there's lettuce, they don't mean just lettuce. Behind us, as they mentioned, was romaine. That's the hydroponic garden. And in here we have a good variety, red romaine. Over here I see some organic butter lettuce, that looks like little gem, and butter crunch. Caesar looks like, is that right? And lots of spinach. And so would one of you like to tell me how the lunchroom serves the lettuce? I mean, they just put a bowl out so you can help yourself, or do they have dressings, or how do they do that? And your name?
Dylan Bartle. So what we do, we just harvest it about every Tuesday, and we'll put it in the lunch line. Sadly, the middle schoolers don't get any because all the high schoolers pretty much just eat it up for our salad days because we'll have subs and salads and everyone gets their individual salad. So, yeah, and also in tacos and wraps.
And wraps. So it's served many different ways. Otherwise, it's as a salad that you can help yourself. I'd also like to ask either Bonita or Teresa to tell a little bit about the soil mix, and also let's bring Tracy in here too. Come on, Tracy. Come on down, Tracy. Tracy's going to tell us a little bit how the actual greenhouse was developed.
I think some of the kids talked about how they got the idea from Chuck Weibel's greenhouse in Milroy, or excuse me, Milan. The idea that I liked about it is that it was a self-sufficient type heating. There won't be a high electrical cost or heating cost with this unit because it's so heavily insulated. We use the sun, which is a great tool to teach the kids about renewable energy. We're also hooked in with our wind turbine that pays for our electricity to run it. So we really shouldn't have much of a bill as far as heating and electrical. The structure itself is, like I said, it was insulated very heavily. We collect heat from the sun, from the top of the building, up on the tubes, and they're forced down into the ground where the tubes are 4 feet under the ground, aeration tubes, and it releases heat slowly. That way it keeps the building warm during the evening hours. The idea of that is it's a heat thermal source. The rocks hold the heat until it releases it slowly. We're also using some water barrels in the rear of the building to hold heat into the water. Water is a good heat storage unit as well, and it releases it slowly to keep the place warm. We try to keep it, this winter, even though it was 20 below, we tried to keep it at 50 degrees or warmer all the time. And on the sunny days, it was never a problem doing that.
So maybe you could tell us a little bit about the process of planting. How did you develop the soil? What are your plans for the warmer weather crops? I know these are cold weather crops, cool weather crops. But what do you plan to plant as soon as the weather if the weather gets warmer this spring?
Well, we're all hoping for spring, and in about 2 weeks, I'm going to get some warm season plants in, both flowers and vegetables, and we'll convert it into a warm season growing area instead of a cool season. The lettuces and the cool season crops, it'll really get too warm in here for them to thrive. We've done a lot of cuttings off of them. Teresa in her class has really taken a lot of forage off of here, so it'd be good to renew those and plant some new stuff. As far as starting, we're gonna use the flowers and the vegetables and probably have a plant sale later on in the spring too. I'm getting them in as little plugs, and the students will plant them in 6-packs. And
well, we'll be looking for the plant sale. But now tell me, or maybe Bonita could help with this too, just to get her in here. Tell a little bit about the soil you use, and also if you've ever had a problem with pests. This is an organic gardening and an organic growing situation. So that means no sprays are used, no pesticides. And so what happens if you come in and notice that there's some little things flying around?
Well, we were using the book, the Northland Greenhouse Manual, as a guide. And one of the things that they had found useful if you do have pests are to use a beneficial insect such as a wasp. Now the students have been looking, and up to this date we have had no insects in the produce. So we are very fortunate, because if there is a first sign of insects, you want to take care of that right away. But through this booklet, that Northland Winter Greenhouse, that was a very good source for us to use, because they relied on 5 years of their experience. One example in the booklet that we followed was to not plant spinach in the fall, because spinach is photosensitive and it wouldn't grow till the spring. So we've waited to plant that in the spring. I think I'll let Teresa talk about the soil that was used.
Tracy had some Mississippi topsoil available that we were able to use, and then there's some other growing mixes. We did not formulate the soil that was suggested in the Northland Greenhouse partly because we kind of hit the ground running in November when it was time to hurry up and get lettuce started. So we just used what we had on hand, which was just good topsoil, and filled the gutters about 2 inches and planted the seeds. And the big thing is watering. Tracy came in over Christmas and watered, Thanksgiving, long weekends, because when it's real sunny, it does dry up fast. On the school days, the students come in, they kind of rotate around. They have one person in charge of scheduling to make sure that the students come in here and do watering, and then on Tuesdays we cut lettuce.
I was going to say they've also done a great job of keeping track of what they've planted and when they've planted it, so they've learned a little bit of how long it takes for the plants to germinate and how long it is before they're mature. And I know they've got some charts up on the wall there of the data that they had collected so far.
So what has been the reaction of the students? Maybe you can, now you're middle school students, so you're not getting these vegetables, right? Is that right? Okay. So what have you heard from the high school where they're getting served? Is there a good reaction to having some fresh lettuce like this?
A lot more people are eating salads.
Okay. Seriously? Good. I'm glad to hear that because it's really encouraged me at home to start planting some greens. Normally I just do tomatoes because I have a shady yard. But after seeing what you're doing here, I'm very inspired. Does anyone want to add anything more? Any of the students want to say anything? It's not too scary, you know. Thank you very much.
We have Sue Block from the kitchen, and she's been the one who's interfaced between the students and the kitchen and making sure things run. Just explain probably what
okay.
Hold it. Yeah.
The kids bring it into us, all fresh picked. We supply them with bowls and plastic bags for storage. They weigh it, and we write it on our measurements, so it gets recorded daily whenever we use it. And it is served all grades 5 through 12 on the salad bar days and build a sandwich day.
And the reaction of the students has been good. I'm really pleased to see this. Can you think of anything else you want to add to your gardening experience? I am very, very impressed. I'm amazed. We'll have people waiting to hear about your plant sale, your flowers. I also want to mention there's an author coming in early April. Her name is Beth Dooley, and she has written a book called Minnesota's Bounty. And she's an organic gardener, but she also visits the farmers markets throughout the state. And so she's going to be at the Wilmer Public Library on Tuesday, April 8th. So if you're watching the program early, it is sponsored by the Wilmer Area Arts Council, the new community-owned grocery store, and the Public Library, Friends of the Library. So if you are interested in hearing Beth Dooley, she has a book out. She'll probably be selling her books there. But April 8th is the date. So again, thanks for being here with Do You Know? And next month, hopefully the weather will be improving, and maybe we can get out to one of the outdoor greenhouses.